Well, Zimbabwe's former vice president, whose sacking led to last week's army takeover, has urged President Robert Mugabe to resign immediately. Emmerson Mnangagwa said he fled abroad 2 weeks ago when he learned of an alleged plot to kill him, and he would not return back to Zimbabwe until he was sure of his security. But reports are that Mnangagwa is on his way back to the country. Meanwhile, about 100 people are demonstrating against Mugabe's rule on the road leading to his private residence in Harare. And in other developments, a cabinet meeting called by Mugabe is due to start shortly, but the governing Zanu-PF party has warned ministers not to attend that cabinet meeting. All right, so let's get more now. Our foreign editor, Sophie Mukwena, joins us from Harare. Sophie, good afternoon to you. So much happening there today, from the cabinet meeting to the start of impeachment proceedings. And I just want to start with any confirmation on Mnangagwa coming back to Zimbabwe. And what do we know about the cabinet meeting? Has it started? Will it start?
Well, Natasha, this morning at around 7:30, we took a drive to President Robert Mugabe's house, the private house, because we got information that there were some people who slept outside the house as a protest, but unfortunately we couldn't get close to the house. And we were told by security that he is expected to leave his house around 10 to attend a cabinet meeting at the State House. But we waited until 10 o'clock along the road. We couldn't see the convoy. And finally, when we went past through the State House, we saw one car of one minister leaving the State House. And as you have indicated, the speculations or the rumors are that only 3 cabinet ministers went to the State House this morning as part of the meeting with the president. But we didn't get a confirmation whether cabinet did take place and whether President Robert Mugabe did finally arrive at the State House where he was supposed to chair cabinet. Then we came here. It's a park opposite the legislature or parliament, where members of parliament this afternoon are expected to start a process to impeach President Robert Mugabe. We spoke to the chief whip of Zanu-PF yesterday. He indicated that the Speaker of Parliament has been given the motion and the notice, and therefore they will table the motion in Parliament. They have appointed one Zanu-PF MP to do just that. He told us that they have numbers. He told us that the opposition will support the motion. And I just want to move out of the shot to show you the parliament. And as you can see, parliament here, very soon members of parliament will get there to start and deliberate. And as you look at the streets, you see traffic continues. And also we see a truck. It is a military truck putting an eye on all the deliberations here. On the side, you can see ordinary citizens, ordinary Zimbabweans gathered here to listen. Perhaps after Parliament, maybe leadership will come out and address them and tell them what has transpired. But what I do know is that when I spoke to many of those who came earlier on, they indicated that they still love President Robert Mugabe, but what they want is President Mugabe to step down. And we are hoping that perhaps around 2 o'clock, we will definitely be able to get a sense of what is happening. The irony is that the national broadcaster yesterday told us that they are not going to broadcast the deliberations. Therefore, it will be very difficult to know what's happening inside.
Absolutely. And do you know some of the steps that need to be put in place for this impeachment process to get underway? Because it is exactly that. It's a process. So maybe also just indicate the timeline that we could expect with this impeachment process.
Well, the Speaker, the chief whip of Zanu-PF, did explain the process yesterday. He indicated today they will table a motion. Tomorrow they are going to appoint a committee of 9 people who will be investigating the allegations contained in the motion. And therefore, then the voting will have to happen and a decision will be taken. But others are telling us it's a long, long legal process that can take 3 months. We will be speaking to an expert, the legal expert, the constitutional expert, who will explain to us exactly what is likely to happen, because some believe it's not an overnight thing.
Yeah, and Sophie, before I let you go, so many conflicting reports as to the whereabouts of Emmerson Mnangagwa. Can you confirm for us, has he come back to the country?
Earlier in the morning, we got a statement from former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa, where he released a statement to share information in terms of the discussion he had with President Robert Mugabe. The army yesterday, late last night, we were called to the barracks where we followed the press conference. In fact, it wasn't a press conference because they wouldn't allow questions. It was just a statement. In their statement, they indicated that President Robert Mugabe has spoken to Emmerson Mnangagwa, and that shortly, the words shortly, that is a word they use, Mnangagwa will be in the country. But this morning, Mnangagwa issuing a statement that he's not returning to the country until his security is in place and his safety is guaranteed. Also indicating to President Robert Mugabe that he must just do the right thing. He must listen to the voices and he must implement the will of the people. He must step down. So I can't confirm whether he is on his way back to Zimbabwe, or he is in Zimbabwe, or he is still in South Africa, because the last time I spoke to Mnangagwa's people while I was still in the country, he was in South Africa. So, and then we were told he came back to Zimbabwe on Tuesday last week, but we have since learned that he is not, in terms of the statement he issued earlier this morning, and he gave an indication that he's not about to return to Harare within 24 hours because of issues of security.
All right, Sophie, thanks so much for now. We'll leave it there. Our foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena, monitoring developments in Zimbabwe, where it certainly continues to be a black hole of information coming out of that country.